Hey,
How's everybody today?
Good.
Welcome
hey, I'm
once
on a
again.
beach. It couldn't be better, right?
I know, eh? Welcome to the
Don't you love it?
Heikadelic show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So it's
here we are.
9:30 on a Monday night. Time to get
Start
dirty on the 9:30, right?
it
right.
is.
Starting the weekend
So,
off. Right.
Georgie, you better cue up that the la la tra la la, and
Okay, here we go.
yeah, we can
Yeah.
get it
Ready,
started off
ready to
right.
go.
Let's get right into it.
Oh, here we go. Weird. Oh,
See,
There
you
you go.
gotta love a show where before you even start talking about anything, you have a cheers with everybody and drink some beer. Like
there you go.
That's right.
Kick
it's
it
the
off
best.
right. Yep.
I'm,
So,
I'm on Smithwick's tonight, just out of
oh,
interest.
Oh yeah,
Smithwick's Red Ale. It's good.
right.
Not
It's
there's ever
always
bad
really
beer.
cool trying different
yeah.
things. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like going to the liquor store in the back cooler room, and they've got like all of the
Yeah,
different brands out there, all the
yeah,
imports
yeah.
and everything.
That's what I
And
do.
you
Yeah,
get those
yeah,
little totes, and you just fill them up
Yep.
with all
yeah,
different
yeah.
beers.
I get a
I
mixed
mean,
bag. Yeah.
sometimes you
Do you
don't know what
know
you're getting, but
I have not bought beer at the beer store in about 20 years.
oh,
Right.
really? Always
I buy
liquor
all
store
my
now.
beer at the liquor store.
So
Yeah,
The
what do
that's
you
only
do with
reason
all
I
awesome.
your
go there,
empties then?
I just take my empties to the beer store. It's the only time I ever go there.
Yeah,
All
yeah. It's
right,
got
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I'm like a bit like that. Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So, Heike, I was
Anyway,
just noticing your shirt. You're looking good, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Is it the
So
hair
did
or what is it?
no, it's the birds behind your head. I
Oh,
find them a little
perfect.
intriguing, but yeah.
Nice.
No, I was gonna say I was looking at your shirt. Is that Peterborough Speedway?
Absolutely.
Oh,
I
cool.
uh, I actually went out there with Alana's stepdad, and we
Yeah,
actually went out racing on the track. We did one of those courses for the day.
nice.
You ever done that?
You know what? I was kind of booked to go out on the Durham track, Mosport.
most sport.
Yeah, yeah.
They had
I'd love.
the
Yeah,
vets and Transams and stuff like that, right? So
right.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I would love to go out on the Mossport track.
I nearly did.
yeah,
I nearly did. I nearly did because I have a friend who is involved there, and
Yeah,
so he said, "Come and we'll go on the track, right?" And
yeah,
someone was out there said, because you have training sessions all the time, and
yes.
I rolled up with like me flip flops, whatever, and shorts. I said,
you
we're
can't
not
do
letting
it.
you on the
Sorry.
track dressed like that.
It doesn't
So,
work.
Yeah,
and then so I was supposed to do it this year, right? But all that kind of got blown away. So what can you do?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
But it's
next
not
year,
Mosport.
whatever.
It's
Let's.
Canadian Tire Motorsports
That's
Park.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And for
So
short, it's what's it for short now? I've
Yeah.
if
forgotten
it
it. It'll
comes
come
up
to me.
again and they
Mm,
free up, we should do it
mm,
together. We should go out
mm,
as a group and do it.
Yeah,
mm.
actually, we'll see if we can coordinate something with the track. I've got
Yep.
some contacts over there that
Mm.
might be able to get
Well,
us in.
another thing, I was actually going to do 5 gigs up there this past summer,
Oh, really?
like
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
pits, and 2 out at Shannonville. Yeah, but but unfortunately,
Yeah, they're definitely always looking for
mhm.
talent to kind of fill in the
Yeah,
intermissions and
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, even if there are other hosts there, you can pick a spot on the track and just host your own show, right? There's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
probably I that would be a great event for us to go.
Well, maybe if like next year, things get back to normality, maybe we could do like a show from the pits,
Yeah,
while
it's
I'm there
funny.
playing the tunes and all that. So, who knows?
I
That'd be
was
cool.
Yeah.
on I was on Kijiji, which I'm pretty addicted to, and everybody out there would know Kijiji in North
Hmm.
America anyway. But I noticed there's this trailer, probably about a 30-foot camper trailer,
Right.
and the guy's got like wooden shakes all over it. So he did it like a cabin exterior, and it's got all of these autographs from Boots and Hearts and all of
Yep.
that stuff on it, right? So he obviously takes it to festivals and events. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of reminded me of the old days when you could actually go out and camp out at a
Hmm.
rock concert or country concert, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get there.
It's funny. I was
remember-
thinking of us doing a show from the racetrack, but that's going to be tough because every couple seconds you got and ripping by,
Yeah.
and then everyone's like, "What you say?"
Yeah,
But then we get to
okay.
use our big kid voices, right? Like,
Yeah.
there he
But in
comes,
the-
running
if-
around the
if-
track, and it's. I missed it.
The idea was I was going to be at the podium. I'd call it the podium party
Right.
party
Oh, okay.
time.
Yeah.
So we could, you're a bit further away, so you don't get so much noise when you're there.
Oh, right
The
on.
cars going out of the pits, the odd one, but you're
Yeah.
a racetrack. It's all
We
part of the
definitely-
ambiance, right?
Yeah, we definitely got to do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that
and
sounds
while
really
we're
awesome.
here, I'd like to say hi to Will and Kathy and Derek. Our three crazy fans are out there yakking up a storm already. So I just wanted to say hi back. That's all.
Hey, guys,
Hey guys.
welcome
And
to the
for
podcast.
the rest of you out there that are listening, feel free to be part of the show. Send us a
Yeah.
message on Facebook.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
it's funny, we'll read it on the air.
Yeah.
Or put it right
Yeah.
up on the screen. So
Yeah,
go for it.
Yeah, give us a topic.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, Kathy mentioned about a sponsor, so we're gonna run their ad in a few minutes. But the what else? Oh yeah, so I've been kind of excited about tonight. I think we all have. We did a bit of a trailer on MINDSCAPE Entertainment and the show that Shawn brings out on the road. It's called Beyond the Lawn, and I've seen him do his illusions, we'll call them, and
Right.
I think he's a mentalist as well, but he can clarify that. We all have some questions for him, obviously, but there's such a difference between the traditional magic shows like the Houdini stuff, and then you see the stuff that Chris Angel does and all of these illusionist masters, and then there was David Copperfield, who made a whole plane disappear, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing stuff. And then and then there's Shawn. He's just really amazing. I'm excited because he's going to do some stuff for us tonight. A little bit of a surprise. None of us know what that's going to be exactly, so we're going to do our best. He can't wear his headphones, and but I guess he's set up with a webcam and all that stuff. He needs to be obviously a little interactive, right? So we have him coming on at, what is it, Heiko? 10?
At 10 o'clock,
10?
yeah.
10 o'clock? Yep. Okay, great. And then, we're looking forward to that. So we'll have him on for a bit, and feel free if you've got any questions, or you want somebody to disappear in your life, let's let Shawn know. Maybe he can help us out.
Nice.
So Terry is looking good tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Terry's away for another week. But we'll see what's happening there.
It's on a sabbatical, as we say.
Yeah, sabbatical. Yeah, we can call it that. It's okay. Life's a sabbatical, right? Sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys
trivia? Do you want to do the album cover?
I think so. I think we should fire that up there and get started with that.
Well, we'll just put it up there. We don't need any guesses because I think we had a few last week already with the sneak peek.
They guessed it when they saw it.
But there it is.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Leave that there for a second or two. But okay.
I have some ideas, but people have had some time to brew on that one, right? So
yeah. I'll give it one more time. Hang on. Here we go. Oh, it is vinyl, by the way. It nearly fell out there. Double album.
Derek's probably already got it.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I'll try not to show the front cover as I put it back down. So there you go.
All right. So Heiko, my internet, I'm kind of like a nomad right now, just kind of my stationary office at home has been compromised because of the big internet providers. And so what happened was I was getting great internet service, and then all of a sudden, and I was paying a lot of money for it, about $225 for the one internet, and then I had this other satellite internet, which is very slow. But anyway, long story short, after COVID, or sorry, not after COVID, I guess before this, what they call the second wave started up,
Right.
a lot of these internet providers were not throttling internet, but all of a sudden they're throttling it to the point where I got home one night to get ready for the show, and I had
Yep.
no internet, right? So
Yep.
I've been struggling because I do use a company right now that's satellite. It's not bad. It's not bad actually. It just went for streaming and all of that media stuff. It's just not effective. So
Hmm.
anyway, yeah.
Well, I
So there's
had the
Starlink,
same
right?
thing. Yeah, I had the same thing happen with one of the big companies that everybody uses. And they say, it's unlimited internet for so many gigs, and then we throttle you back. When they throttle it back, my phone was unusable.
Right.
Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, you're paying, $100 plus for one item to be on the internet to get a decent connection, and then do that kind of bullshit. So I'm sick and tired of the big guys. Uh, you could tell us about this. I heard something. I know there's another company coming in, and I
Yeah.
can't freaking wait.
Yeah. So the other company, and I have no problem with talking about it because it's just an amazing, you know, company and start. So Elon Musk, who introduced the Tesla to us,
Yep.
actually started a company called SpaceX. And what SpaceX does is they got a lot of built rockets, right? Rocket ships to do a variety of different things. And
Right.
the first, one of the first phases, they hope to go to Mars someday, the way I understand it. And to
Hmm.
finance all of that, they're actually providing an internet service that is like a satellite, but if I got my fact straight, it's almost a terabit of download capability. So it's lightning fast. I'm not even sure there's a computer that certainly can handle it, but it's never going to really push the bandwidth of that computer, or the computer's not going to push the speed of that. So
That's right.
we're in store for a lot. We're in store for like lightning fast gaming. We're better ping rates. Certainly with video and media and what we're doing, it's just going to be lightning fast. It can't get here soon enough. So I understand out in BC, there have been shipments. I put my name and Heiko put his name on a beta list.
Yep.
So if you're out there and you need that service, go on to starlink.com, and you can fill out the form to at least get on a beta. So what they do is, you'd have to update yourself on the cost, but it's a little bit. It's there's a cost to get the equipment, and then once you've got the equipment, I think it's around $99 a month. But I'm just so anxious for it. And when I get my email, I'm on this site. It's on Facebook actually. It's a Starlink site. Um, that people are just elated when they get their box, and then they've got to mount it to the side of their deck or on their wherever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's pretty simple to install. But it's yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
We can get.
Because we need competition out here, because you have pretty much two big companies running the show, and they're in bed together. So, they get the masses and they do whatever they want, right? And if you
Well,
complain, they go, so, right? They don't care.
yeah, I mean, allegedly they're trying to push back on this, and obviously something like it's not free to air. I mean, everybody's paying for it, but
Yeah.
it does. I guess the downturn of it takes a lot of money out of Canada, but and probably doesn't displace like a lot of the bigger networks right now. They're going to get crushed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because everything's about that connectivity. But the good that comes out of it, imagine in Canada, we've got a business, we've got our Heiko show and all of that. And it just makes things so much better for everyone. So,
Hmm.
there's going to be a secondary and third party income as a result of that. And, but anyway, we don't need to get into all of that. But the fact that Heiko, you and I are on some properties that are in rural areas,
Yes.
and that you kind of live the dream because you're out in nature, and I got a big pond in my yard and all that.
Yep.
It's cool, but we got the shittiest internet in the world, right?
Yeah.
And
You're very limited.
right, and you were a static image on here for how long? When Terry and I were pretty much live, and then you would be just
Yeah.
on a call-in.
Just that picture.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it's coming, and what I think is super cool is the background. It's not just a internet company. These ones, I mean, they've flown rockets, satellites up and built an array of satellites, and they're going to Mars. I mean, they're using this money to further develop, and it's pretty exciting. And Elon Musk, I mean, I'm just glued to a lot of the YouTube stuff on him.
Just the idea of what he's doing, I think, is fantastic too, because he's going to provide people with a service, and the money they make on the service is going to be funding their projects. Like, how cool is that?
It's super cool. The guy reminds me of he kind of reminds me of Iron Man, right? Like the Stark Industries, because I mean the technology. Look at the Tesla, right? There's so many projects he's involved with, and you watch him on these casts and stuff he does, and somebody will say something, and all of a sudden, it's like he's buffering, right? And he thinks he's very, very intelligent. So
we should make a couple of phone calls and get him on the show. Like, come on.
Yeah. You trust me, I've tried to look to connect for a bunch of different reasons, but so we're gonna flip a quick short from our sponsor. Sorry, so my bad.
Your car will be clean and go faster.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And it really does. I mean, there's nothing like a nice car. So if you're having a lot of problems with your car and you can't afford to get it, fixed right now, at least bring it in and get it detailed, and it'll just feel better, right? And turn up the radio, and all your problems are gone. But I went on their site, and they've got a lot of packages detailed on there. So you could go simply go to the Heikadelicshow.com and go to the sponsor page, and Downforce Detailing is there. And love the video. It's short, to the point. And they've got, I've gotten detailing done before. They got really great prices, very competitive. They're based in Durham, so we can't say enough about that. And more to come on Downforce Detailing.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Love it.
Yeah, I've been there. I've used them.
Yeah. So what's your experience, George?
Excellent job. Like, I thought, detailing was like cleaning a car, and then I went there, and it was like, it's a whole science. It's like all these different ceramic coatings and all this stuff. It's just unbelievable what they can do. And you'll get, you get a showroom finish at the end of it. It's just brilliant. Inside and outside.
Maybe you can get them to wax and polish your chest too, eh? What do you think of that?
Maybe. It's a no before you ask, as they say.
Right on.
I think I'm going to get my backs waxed first time, and it's not that not really interested in the sack and crack, but or whatever it was called, but the my back, Sometimes I look like a Wookiee, but So we've got Shawn. He'll be with us in about 10 minutes or so, and we're gonna spin our trailer for Shawn, and it'll give you a little teaser on what's gonna go on with him tonight.
Tune in Monday night on the Heikadelic Show. We've got Shawn from MINDSCAPE Entertainment, and he'll be talking about Beyond the Wand. That's right, illusions and magic. Shawn's got a lot in store for us Monday night, so tune in to the Heikadelic Show. Let's get dirty at 9:30.
There we go.
I like that. Beyond the Wand. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that has a like a spin-off of like a Harry Potter thing or something, but it's very cool. Definitely cool. Shawn, very excited for this. And I met this young guy this summer. I'm trying to think of, maybe he's say about 14, 13 or 14. And this kid could do amazing card tricks, right?
Yeah.
But the illusion type, right? And it was super impressive. I couldn't believe how awesome that was. So there's a lot of interest in it. It's probably very niche, but it's a commitment. I asked him. I said, "How long have you been doing this?" He said, "About 7 years." So that would have put
Wow.
him at what, 5, 6 years old. So, but like Shawn has been doing this for years, and I don't, I when I can't explain something like that or rationalize it, I'm just, wow, this is like otherworldly for some reason.
That's
But
right.
his kind of stuff is like the Chris Angel stuff, right? So it's
Oh yeah.
pretty awesome. Yeah. So
Right on.
we're gonna get a little taste of that. George, tell me about moon cheese.
Oh, yeah, we're chatting about that before we came on air. And
Moon cheese.
about 3-4 months ago, we were on, and you were snacking on moon cheese.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, I've never heard of that. And I was in a store, which I won't mention, but they don't plug us. But and I bought some. It was expensive. It's just like $12.99 for this relatively small bag.
Right.
But and I thought these are going to be great. And I thought, ooh, I don't like them. It
So
was
it's
too zingy. It was like it was like I anyone's had it. I know
Is
you've
it
had
like
it.
cheese
Gouda that
curds?
was, well, kind of like that, but smaller. And
Yeah.
it's almost like a space food, like a dehydrated cheese.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it smells like real, like tastes really strong. It's got so it's like a Gouda has been dating Limburger, right?
Yeah.
And they were just hooking up. They weren't doing anything but that. But it's definitely, you have to develop, like I had a few and acquired a bit of a taste. Now these aren't too bad.
Taste, yeah.
But the funny story is my daughter had bought it, I think, off of Amazon, and then ended up she was looking for her bag of moon cheese because I stole it, and so
Of course you did.
she walks in and says, "Well, where's my dad?" "Oh, well, he's in the kill room," which is my storage unit, and I call it the kill room for no particular reason. And she's like, "Where's my effing moon cheese?" And of course, everybody hears it and so on. But yeah,
I thought
so
I thought it'd be a kind of like melt in your mouth type, but it's really crunchy, really hard, and it's got this like zingy back tasting. Like,
oh, really?
The taste. Yeah. Normally I enjoy like those kind of flavors, but like, ooh,
so it's kind of like
I didn't even finish the bag
jerky,
actually.
Right? It's like jerky but made out of cheese.
Maybe, yeah. It's just it wasn't what I expected at all. It's more crunchy than cheese. Yeah.
I think what we could do is see if we can get our hands on a couple of bags and
do a food.
Do a little taste test on the air.
Yeah.
Right.
If anyone's had it who's out there has an opinion on it, well, get in touch with us for sure.
Yeah, anybody try, like moon rocks are awesome according to Derek, but yeah, moon cheese. It's I can't really.
Well, it's
worth
the moon made of that cheese. Yeah, I could believe it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to try it.
It's kind of crunchy too, right? Because it's dehydrated.
Very crunchy.
Yeah. But I would say if you want to really prank somebody, take some moon cheese because it is dehydrated and it's in one of those freeze-dried sort of packs that are sealed.
Right.
So if I wanted to prank a friend, I might take a little bit and stuff it in their, like, maybe underwear or something like that, or maybe in their boots or something, and then dab a little water in there just for that extra enhancement.
Yeah.
But, I think that'd be great.
Put it under the back seat of the car or something too, eh?
Right. Yeah. So Kathy's saying Wahida Ann. Yeah, we haven't seen Wahida in a while. She's been texting us and saying that she's been missing our show for some reason. Why don't one of you guys out there reach out to Wahida and see if she's able to join us in that? because our
Yeah.
show will go on. She's in California, right? So
Right.
she'll go on, and then yeah, the show's over, right? So she's somehow, and I think it might have to do with her phone, because the last note I got was actually late last week, and
Right.
she mentioned something about having to get her going down to her phone provider to see what was going on with her phone. So maybe that's how she logs into the show. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of phones, I almost thought I was going to be on the show tonight because my phone had a complete meltdown.
Yeah.
Like it had this little Android dude, and it had something spinning, and
Yep.
I'm pressing on it to see what the hell it's doing. All of a sudden, the screen went black. All this little white text came up, and then it locked up, and it was like that for 4 hours.
Wow.
And then
Yeah,
finally, the Samsung name came up, and it started doing something, and it started restoring, and blah blah. And I just left it alone, and it came back to life. I'm like, oh my god.
You remember the blue screen of death from
Yes.
the computers, right? The minute you got that blue screen, it was like, I gotta go buy a new computer. Game over for sure.
Yeah. Wow.
I know what you mean. I had being a bit of a songwriter back in the day, I would write a lot of my lyrics actually on my iPhone. And about 2 years ago, and I kept everything in my iPhone. Like I'm at the point in my life where I'm losing it a bit, perhaps, and I just like, instead of sticky notes, I'll just use the iPhone notes. Make a note, call Heiko, that sort of thing. But I would have lyrics, and the boys in MCM, it was like our style is they come up with a groove or whatever, but I almost go into this like little bit of a trance and just spew out lyrics like there's no tomorrow. And they actually turn out to be coherent somehow. But I'll do it like on my iPad, or I'll do it, which everything's shared, right? So I had everything on my phone, and I don't know how many notes. I must have had like 1,500 notes. I get up one morning after an update, boom, the thing is locked out. I can't get in. Nothing got uploaded to the cloud. It was just a disaster. So yeah, I was pretty upset. I felt like I'd been violated. So Keisha's dialed in from Huntsville by the fire under a tarp in the snow. That sounds cozy.
That's a dedicated fan right there.
That is, yeah.
Out camping and still listening to the show. I think that's great. Yeah. Or watching it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
George, I'm getting thirsty. Do you think you'll play a tune for me?
I've been taking a little sip. Sorry, boys.
Let's see what I've got in my bag of tricks. How about this one? In the mix.
Sometimes Melbourne be red.
George. I guess we're getting Shawn on very shortly.
Yes, we are.
But whilst he's on, so we can do it, give people something to think about. We've shown the lovely backside, which we're still waiting for anyone who wants to have a go at that.
Okay.
And I'll do it maybe the quick.
Let's see your backside again there, George.
Okay, here we go. It's an album.
Al-bum. Yeah.
Album.
It's a double album, this one.
So what's funny about that is it's pretty fitting, right? Because in this day and age, like all of the generation, what is it? Y? I don't even know where we're at now, but they've barely seen albums, right?
Yeah, they go, that's a funny looking frisbee.
Yeah, you get the eclectic kind of nerdy ones that are diehards like this that are going to go into an old record store. I love going to old record stores, but some of them are, what? An album? A cassette tape? What? So love what you do there, George.
Yeah. Just the way George handled the albums, I almost cringed because I would never have my fingers on the face at all. It was between the hands. You never got anything on them.
I used to spin them when I was playing live back in the day.
Yeah.
Can't do it now, but I used to actually let them spin. One record's playing, I'd be like spinning the next one on my finger. It keeps falling off now. I'm out of practice.
Okay, so we've got Shawn in the green room. Actually, at least his logo is there, so we're gonna get him in here and see what.
see what he could do, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm excited.
Maybe
vanished.
he's made himself vanish.
Sounds like an old Model T car horn in the background there.
I don't know. Maybe he's got something exciting for us.
Oh, that's my phone.
Oh, that's your phone.
That's Messenger.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, while we're waiting, that. Let's do the threesome. So what? Hang on. Are we in?
We got a brick wall.
We have a brick wall. Another brick in the wall.
All right. There you go.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, I've got an idea.
Yeah, I bet you do. I just got one too. It's got to play on those words.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Hey, Shawn.
How are you?
Welcome to the Heikadelic Show.
Good.
Can you
Good. I
see
know
us?
someone just a few minutes ago, I was logging in and said they were thirsty, and then you played some songs. So I made sure I had my sparkling water ready to go.
There you go. There you go.
Attaboy.
In case I get thirsty.
Attaboy.
Good man.
A little of the bubbly, nice wine glass.
There you go. Yeah. Presentation is everything, right? As you know, being a illusionist, mentalist, magician, what do you prefer to go by?
Well, so I perform magic as well as mentalism, as well as kind of in between. So they call that in the business mental magic. So depending on the age group that I'm performing for and all that, I just tailor it to that. I generally perform for ages 5 and up, and now I am doing virtual online magic shows as well.
Great.
Wow.
So.
Yeah.
Hey,
all right.
Can you explain what that is? Mentalist? What actually is that?
Yeah, for sure. I'm just gonna get the angle here while I talk to you, right? Because the angle.
Yeah, I mean, I've been accused recently of being a bit of a mental case, but I'm
me
sure
too.
you did.
Yeah. Of course, me too. So a mentalist uses different things like psychological subtleties, mental misdirection, sometimes physical misdirection, an array of different, tactics per se to try and, create the illusion of a sixth sense, creating an illusion of reading someone's mind, perhaps.
Right.
So some of the effects that I do includes maybe cutlery bending, maybe mind reading, prediction effects, things like that. So
Okay.
So cutlery bending, and I was gonna say you look kind of like Neo from the Matrix, but anyway, no, or he looks
Right
like
on.
you, right? That would be that's a compliment.
Yeah, he stole it from me. He stole my image, so I don't.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think on your site you had something like I don't know if it was a Halloween thing or whatever you were doing, but you had like this long coat on, and I'm like, wow, that's Neo from But spoon bending, right? That's right from that movie, is it not? Like the all the kids are sitting in the living room, the Oracle's living room, and flopping the spoon around. So
there is no spoon. That's the famous line right there.
Yeah, right. Well, actually, now that you mention that, we did a trailer. I don't know. Did you happen to see the trailer we did for your show, your visit tonight?
I didn't. I missed that one.
Should we spin it?
Do it.
Okay. Heiko, what do you think?
No, I want him to start doing some of his crazy stuff so people can see that.
Let's spin it while he's hydrating here, and I'm going to crack open a drink as well.
Tune in Monday night on the Heikadelic Show. We've got Shawn from MINDSCAPE Entertainment, and he'll be talking about Beyond the Wand. That's right, illusions and magic. Shawn's got a lot in store for us Monday night, so tune in to the Heikadelic Show. Let's get dirty at 9:30.
There you go.
Wow.
So,
pretty cool.
I want to know where you got those cool cards, black cards with red hearts on them. That's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah. So I'm not a crazy collector of cards or anything like that, but I know that if I see, custom cards, I may pick a deck up here and there.
Right.
I generally don't use them in performances because then that just screams that there's something wrong with the deck.
Right.
And I don't use
point,
trick decks. I hate that. I'd prefer just to. So that's why. But it's kind of cool just to. There's a few decks of cards that I have that are pretty fancy, pretty artsy in that sense, and they
Okay.
I don't use them, but they're cool. They're cool, yeah.
Right.
Good,
So
good
how
for
long
folks.
Shawn, how long have you been doing this for?
So I've been doing magic for I'd say about maybe 13, 14 years.
Right.
And yeah, it's funny because as a kid, I never kind of saw myself being a magician of any kind. And then as I got older, like I never was super into it, but I always kind of in the back of my mind, certain things I would see like David Blaine do or something.
Right.
And I'd say, it really bothering me that I don't know how this is done. Like,
Right. You see if you can figure it out, right?
Yeah. And I finally saw somebody do a self levitation, and I know David Blaine's done that and all that. Just that I think he kind of started that in terms of the street magic.
Right.
And that's when I was just, you know what, I'm gonna buy this trick and see how the hell it's done, because I was going mental at that point.
Right.
So I purchased a few tricks.
Yeah.
And once I figured out how it was done, it was the most disappointing thing I've ever came across.
Yeah, because then you know, right?
And I know, and it's extremely lame. And then I thought, well, how did I get fooled by this? Like, I don't understand. And then I started learning a few tricks, and I unfortunately, as a magician, sometimes you fall into that trap of thinking like a magician, where you're thinking like, well, no, they're going to catch this, or they're going to know how this is done, or whatever. And I mean,
yeah,
there's the odd case that there's some smarty pants that know how it's done and whatever, but and that's fine. But 99% of the time, it's not the way it turns out, because they don't know what you're going to do next. They don't know what to look for. They're not the magician, and they don't know what you're doing. So
unpredictable. Yeah.
It's unpredictable. So then I started showing people, thinking that they were just going to catch it, and they didn't catch it. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I should hone this craft a little bit more and take it a little more seriously. And just watching people's reactions, I thought, I think I want to make some money at this.
Yeah. Why not, eh?
Right. Why not? Yeah. So,
and I'm sure you can make the money disappear once you've got it, right?
Yeah. Well.
We all can.
Those guys,
I think we're all geniuses at that part.
Yeah. I saw a show, Penn and Teller. I guess you know who they are.
Yep.
Yes, I've seen them live actually once. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. And they're amazing because they do the trick and you're like, oh, and then they show you how to do it. Right?
Right.
Yeah,
well, okay, so Penn and Teller and are they doing shows in Niagara Falls now, or is it just out in Vegas?
That I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
I saw them a while back in Las Vegas, but that was
Vegas. Okay.
Yeah.
It caught me thinking of one in Niagara Falls where they bring these lions out and stuff like that, but it's kind of an ongoing thing, and they're magicians as well. But I have to say, it was at a time when I absolutely got there. It's a dinner theater, and I got there, and they were doing the introduction for the entire show, and I literally passed out at the table. So I was done.
No.
And then I woke up, and I was incredibly hungry for some reason. Dinner was over, and we went and had margaritas. So
I think we should give you we should give you the floor here so you can show us some cool stuff. I was just brought a big piece of cherry pie, so I'm gonna nibble while you do that and watch.
All right.
Are you good for that, Shawn? And then we're gonna. I got a bunch of questions for you as well. So.
Sure. Yeah, I've got one in mind, and then we can. Yeah, that's.
Then we'll move on to some questions. Sure.
Cool. All right. Well, let me just adjust it so I mix maybe stand up so it's not so awkward for myself.
Sure. So who does your bricklaying?
Oh, I did all that myself. Yeah. So,
oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, got a spoon. So I'm gonna show it. Just gonna show up with the camera, so that way it's just a spoon. Plop that up there. My marker here. I'll need that in a minute. Let's see. Just got a cloth here. I'm gonna use that in a second. So now I do have one more thing actually with me. This is a stack of my business cards that I have actually just quickly drawn, like right before this this interview. I just drew what is supposed to be a spoon. So yeah, I'm not a very good artist, and yeah. So we'll say it's a spoon.
Hold that card a different way, Shawn.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
well.
No, don't.
No, I've got it. Just
let me see something. Yeah, about there. Yeah. All right. Close resemblance. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, Terry, I could use anybody's name for this or whatever. Just what do you just give me, instead of giving yours initials, Terry, because we're friends. Yeah. I don't want anybody to think it's like set up or something. Just give me like someone else's initials. Another
another person on the webcast here. So we'll do G.
G.
George. Yeah.
G. Okay, I'll just put a G. So I'm just gonna use pink, so it's easier to. So I'm just gonna. Just gonna put a G here. So we got a big G there.
Right.
Perfect. I'll just throw that in there. So what I'd like to do, I'm just going to take the spoon here, and just very simple. Normally I would have someone hold on to it, but of course, in the coronavirus days, we're just going to put it on the table. So I'm just going to wrap it up quickly here, and I'll just leave it right here in full view. All right.
Okay.
I'll take take George's spoon here, and all I want to do is I'll take the first. Take it off, and I just want to bend it. So just give me a moment for this, because I'm just going to take the card and I'm just going to give it a bend. You still see that it's, obviously your card. I just want to, this may take just a second here. If you look closely, you may be able to see something happening. I don't know. I haven't seen anything yet. So.
I kind of see some movement there or something. This is.
You see a little bit there? You see a little? Okay, one second.
You got mice in your house.
Yeah, something's moving.
All right. Okay, I think we'll go with that. I think we'll go with that. I'm gonna put your card still your card. I'm gonna put that card just right here in view. Okay.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna simply unravel this. I don't want to show nothing in my hands. I just want to unravel this. And we'll just gently take the spoon out. And yeah, we can see I was able to, just by bending your card, just by bending George's card, I was able to get the spoon to bend. Now, a lot of people may have expected that, but I was putting your card down. And I kind of just laughed to myself as I did that, because I noticed that not only the spoon has become bent, but now the drawing of your card is also bent.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
That's cool. Very cool.
Thanks.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, we've got Okay.
Unfortunately, with this COVID crap, you don't have a big crowd with lots of clapping going on. You're stuck with us.
Yeah, you know what? The only night I don't bring my sound effects, could have done a whole crowd applause, but that's amazing, Shawn. So I don't even know what to say about that. A magician is not going to give up his secrets, obviously, right? So
If I told you, I'd have to kill you. So.
Yeah,
That's
for
right.
something.
Of
Yeah,
course.
absolutely. So, so do you as far as mentors, what about Houdini, David Copperfield, even Chris Angel now? I mean, he's modern day sensation, right? As well as yourself, I think. Today it's everybody's trying to one up each other, right? So who are your mentors out there? Like, who do you sort of gravitate to or levitate?
Levitate to? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good question, actually, because, and I'm glad you brought up Chris Angel. Now, I'm not gonna go crazy and like trash talk any magicians here or anything, but I think Chris Angel is really good at what he does, like very good at what he does. The only thing is, see, he got me into he got my head spinning with magic again, and I'm like, maybe I'll buy some tricks. Like, he actually technically got me started when I started watching like first 2 seasons of his show like years ago, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then I got more into David Blaine and his specials, and that really rang to me in a certain way more because he just walked up with the deck, and sometimes just doing like not even card tricks, but sometimes he would just do more mentalism, things like that. And just he's got his creepy vibe with his black shirt, and just these guys over there, and then I'll walk up to them, right, then just walk away, and I'm like, damn, that guy's cool. But like, I thought like I want to find my own my own way of performing and what I depending on the audience and all that. And so David Blaine, definitely I look up to him. I think Chris Angel's great. The only thing that I found with Chris Angel as I started doing magic was I just kind of found it lame that he was just taking the camera tricks a little too far. It was just a little too big for my taste. He'd walk up the side of a building, and I'm like, well, it's not really magic anyway. It's just too much.
Right, but probably like a lot of special effects or something that the walking up the building. I remember watching that in a parking lot or something and going up. It's almost godlike, right? When you're seeing somebody do that, it's like, this isn't real. This is real magic or supernatural. I don't know, but so Derek, one of our listeners, we actually stream from YouTube and Facebook, and Derek actually, I guess he was commenting, first of all, George, on Zeppelin being your cover, so we can get back to that in a bit. But so Derek says, "Shit, you're the devil." I
did have to sell my soul, so I mean that's part of the deal.
There you go.
So I have a question for, like, I know it's late at night and the kids probably won't be watching this, but if they were, like, say there's young kids watching it and they're kind of interested in being a magician, obviously you don't recommend walking up the side of a building, but what would you recommend to like youngsters that want to get into magic? Do you say get one of those little magic sets for, as a birthday present with a magic wand? What would you say to a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old that wants to be a magician?
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. Yeah. So I'll give the only thing I can really say is kind of through my own, like giving my own experience of it. So for example, when I was a kid and I would see a magician perform live, I thought it's really cool. Like, nobody knows how this is done, or most people don't. And I really wanted to figure it out. And I thought, oh, this guy's kind of cool. But then after a while, I I didn't really care much for the actual tricks they were doing. So like typical kids party tricks never really impressed me that much. I just thought, oh, there's a couple things he did that were cool, but yeah, whatever. And then that, I think that turned me not off of magic, but it didn't really light any fuses, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And then as I got older, I thought, well, I want to be able to do what David Blaine's doing, or this guy's doing, or something like that, and perform this kind of thing for a kids shows as well. Just making sure that I'm doing it, presenting it properly to certain ages. So that was the thing. So if you were to buy like a kit, because I remember my parents got me a magic kit and I never used it. Like I looked at it and I'm like, this is stupid. I just put it in. So sorry, Mom. So
kind of like a musician buying or being given a guitar, or not a musician, but a kid being given a guitar, and like I was actually, and for years it collected dust. I really didn't do much with it until I saw a band that was actually some friends of mine, and I within a couple of years I started to play coherently and wound up doing touring when I was in high school, right? I mean, something has to kickstart and inspire you. So I could see that with being a magician, because we were just talking about Shawn before you came on the show about this guy I met, kid I met during the summer, his family actually, and he's about I think he's maybe 13 or 14, and his name is Ben, and he is an amazing, like, you got to meet this kid. He's just card tricks all over the place, but he's very much like a fan of Chris Angel, David Blaine, and so I asked him, I said, how long have you been doing this? He said about 7 years. So that's like half his life. And this kid is so dedicated, but I was amazed. I was simply amazed, and I'm like, and I thought about you, Shawn. I thought, well, like Shawn would be thrilled to see this kid. But it's a great question, George. I mean, like, how? I know this is definitely not a kid show. We don't, but
I know, but it's just interesting if anyone out there was thinking about who's got a kid who's interested.
Yeah, no, it's great.
How would you encourage that?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that always impressed me when I was growing up watching magicians when I was a kid, one of the other things I always thought was fascinating, and this is nothing to do with talent, was they always had this very lovely lady assistant. These magicians. That's a cool job. You're doing magic tricks and you've got this lovely lady assistant, that eventually
that you get to saw their head off when you're like, how many guys can do that? Brilliant. Hey, I got a great looking wife or girlfriend, and at the end of the show I get to saw her head off, right? Like, I mean,
that's right. Yeah.
Or saw her in half anyway. I mean,
saw her in half. Yeah.
And then you get to pick, right? Oh God, I'll stop now. But
so Shawn, what was the first trick that you actually performed in public, and where were you when you did it, and who was the audience?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay. So I'm gonna answer that and also finish the other question, only because there's one thing I forgot to I didn't mention yet. From your other question was just that I ended up going online because, like, I live in the GTA. So in Toronto, for example, there's a magic shop, like one maybe left. Like, so I went online, and I mean, you can find them online too, but especially nowadays, right now with the whole COVID thing, I would just go online and search. There's penguinmagic.com, there's illusionist.com. There's a lot of different, like, just Google search for them. And, you can get your start there. What I did was I had a few extra bucks to spend, and I knew I wanted to get into it seriously. So I just spent lots of money and just got a ton of things shipped to me, and then kind of started figuring out, okay, what's my performance style? What am I going to toss out? What am I going to use out of all these? Instructional DVDs are really good, because if you got a deck of cards, even you want to do some card tricks, get an instructional DVD, and there could be like 50 things you could learn just on that one DVD right there, like 20 different tricks or something, right? So definitely I would go online and just kind of search for things, and that's where I started. So
right, and there's a lot of resources like YouTube's like just solves every problem there is in life, I think. Certainly for me, for mechanical stuff and social issues,
Right.
depression. No, honestly, it's just a plethora, like a repository of knowledge and smart people who, they're not published or anything. They'll go out and they'll do all these, put this amazing content out there. And so there's, Shawn, I've seen it actually. I don't know how to find this kid's video, but he's got on YouTube, he's got, some tricks and stuff like that. And a lot of you probably have some out there. I'm not, do you have any like on the socials?
Speaking of tricks, I think you should show us something else. What else you got up your sleeve? And I know you have your sleeves rolled up, so
we can make a drink disappear though before we do that, right, George?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you need the magic music. You need the magic music. Hang on.
This is our drinking song. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
So, Shawn, before we get into your trick, Derek's asking, is it true Chris Angel was a musician and found out he could make more money being a magician? The magician. I don't know that.
I read the question earlier, and I don't know the answer to that, but it actually reminds me of something funny. Because there's a mentalist that I do know of in the UK, and he used to be a drummer, and then his doctor said, you're going to go deaf if you keep playing drums. So he switched and he started to be a magician and a mentalist. And I thought, well, that's great. And it's funny because a lot of drummers get into magic. It's really weird that way. But you also could have put on earplugs. Like, I don't understand that. But hey, whatever. I just put earplugs on. Like, because I play drums. I'm a drummer too. So I teach.
So what about that first performance you did, and Were You Nervous, and where was it?
Oh, sorry. Yes. So the first actual performance I've done, I was pretty nervous, and I was used to being behind a drum set with cymbals and whatever. So I liked being heard, but sort of in the background, right?
Right.
So I thought to myself, and anytime I give a presentation at school, I'd almost pass out. So I thought, I'm going to be screwed here today. But I did the show, and after like the first 2 tricks, I thought like, okay, this is for me. I like this. And I was hooked. Like I was like, I can't stop. So I think it's because I have a passion for it, and because it's just fun. Even though I'm like, I always get nervous a little bit. Like
you have to,
you have to be a little bit. If you're not nervous, it's dangerous.
Yeah,
because,
that's right. I was told that years ago. Yeah. If you're not a bit nervous, despite how much experience you have, if you're not nervous before a gig, there's something not right.
Yeah.
So what was that first trick? Was it a card trick or was it a disappearing trick?
So the first trick I ever learned was self-levitation. Now the first trick I ever performed, that's a good question. I don't remember the first of that set that day. Although I will say I did show my parents that I was able to bend forks with my mind. So that was weird. But my dad sort of was like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, what? But yeah, it was.
So you'd come down like in the morning, and your mum would open the cutlery drawer and go, "Shawn, have you been messing with my cutlery again?"
Yeah.
All the spoons and forks are bent. Yeah,
you little bugger.
pretty much.
So sorry guys, I dropped out for a minute. I was just trying to give Wahida directions on how to find us. But I heard you talking about levitation, Shawn, and tell us more about that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So that was like the first like basically the first trick I purchased was a self levitation trick. And there's there's multiple ways you can achieve the same sort of, just to be able to look like you're levitating. There's the way David Blaine does it. There's different versions, offskirts of that. And there's the way that Chris Angel does it. Now, someone a long time ago actually posted that on YouTube, how to do it. And it was pretty much from his video, instructional video. He charged like $200 for that video or something like that, right? And I think he tried to sue the guy who posted it, but he couldn't because Chris Angel didn't actually create that particular effect. So I'm looking at this going, okay, I'm going to try and perform this and get something together, because this was like the I don't know if you've ever seen this Chris Angel do this on TV, but he would stand right like in front of a chair and then levitate way up to the chair and then just walk back down. So it's a very, very good looking levitation if you do it right, but it is so crazy what you have to do. I just dropped the whole thing, but it's like that. So I learned that stuff kind of first, and then I told myself at first I wouldn't do any card tricks. I said I'm not going to be a card magician, which I mean I'm not really super good at cards, but I thought to myself after, you know what? There's so many good things you can do with cards. I would be stupid to just not to actually go by that rule. So I incorporated it in my own way, and I thought, well, I can make them a little more interesting, I guess. But yes, self-levitation and cutlery bending, and that's what I started really getting into at first. Yeah, because I really wanted to find out how the hell it was done.
So do you have another trick for us tonight?
What's that?
Do you have another trick for us tonight?
I've got one more. I could do one more if you'd like.
Oh, it's up to
All
you.
right.
I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying this.
Yeah, I could do something else if you want. Just let me know. I could do it now, or I could whatever.
Yeah, go for it. Do it.
All right. Let me set back up again.
All right. Yeah, like you were saying there, Johnny, there was I saw a young Asian kid. It was a boy. I don't know how old he was, but very young. And he had he's sitting in front of a little table with a black velour top on it.
Yeah.
And he was using the bicycle cards. And the stuff he was doing, I couldn't stop watching it because it's right out in the open, right in your face. And one of the things he did is he'd have a card. You know how the bicycle cards are blue?
Yeah.
Right on the back? He had a little string suspended above the table. And then he got his finger and he flicked one of these cards underneath the string. And when it came out the other side, it was red.
Wow.
And it's like, are you kidding me? And he was doing really cool shit like that. And I was like, wow. So cards could be pretty damn awesome as well.
Well, see, Shawn's a pretty freaky dude. Shawn, I just put you in the green room while you're setting up, but you can hear us, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you're back. But how long have we known each other? A long time, I think, right? 10 years?
Yeah, it's been a while. I think I must have been 22 or 21 when I met you or something. I'm 35.
Yeah, okay, let's not date me, but yeah. So what's funny was Shawn and I met, actually, we were going to the Anglican church, and they wanted to do this sort of modernize things and attract younger people, whatever.
Right.
But I ended up playing bass guitar, and Shawn, one of the things you don't know about Shawn is he's an amazing drummer, right up there with some of the greats, and gives drum lessons and all of that stuff. So that's where we first met. But Shawn actually, when I talk about ghost hunting and all of that, Heiko, Shawn actually led the group. So I haven't really figured out Shawn. He's got this little mystery about him that, he could be, I don't know if he's the devil exactly, but, hey, when he talks about things like levitation and he does study a lot of different realms, we'll say, and
Yep.
it adds to I think the mystique of the whole thing. But I'm kind of giving up the goose right now, so
Yeah.
it's been a while. So what do you got for us, Shawn?
All right. Well, thanks for the compliment on the drumming situation.
Oh yeah. A little shameless plug. Look them up. What's your what is that called, by the way? We'll put it up on the website.
Sure. So it's so I have my business is called The Drum School. So it's the drumschool.ca is the site, and I offer online lessons, in-home lessons, as well as lessons in my studio. So all three options now.
Cool. Anyway, we digress there. Very talented guy. So
thanks. Yeah, and I was going to say something about the self-levitation. You brought it up. I think. Oh yeah. I was actually able. This is kind of weird, but I did it for my grandmother. Okay, I did it for my grandmother. I levitated, and she legitimately thought that it was happening, like legitimate.
Right.
And yeah, there's a big story behind it. It's kind of funny, but yeah, like
I didn't like have a heart attack or anything like that, right?
It was close. Like I had her convinced for like a good solid year that I could do it, and then one day I'm like, "Look, Grandma, this is how I'm doing it," and she still didn't understand. Like she's like, "Wait a minute." So it wasn't. I don't understand. Like it's like
Right.
Defies logic. Defies all logic.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually have, just in case you guys wanted a second one tonight, I have this prediction here. Call it my logo prediction. So this is my prediction that I do actually have one thing in this. Okay, just so you know, just one card and there's one thing in it. I'll put that back in there, and we'll just keep it there for now in sight. So I can't mess with it.
Right.
And I have a few cards here. There's about 9 or so cards. Now, I've been reading up on big businesses lately, and I find it fascinating how much time and money and energy is spent on creating logos and catchphrases and stuff like that. So logos right now are the big ones I want to focus on. So I have a few here. So for example, AT&T. I know that's pretty much still their logo. There's supposed to be a globe, and then these are the dividing lines. So bringing the world together, AT&T. That kind of idea they went with. There's Yellow Pages. Let your finger do. I mean, they're probably out of business soon. But, we'll just go on to the next one. Nike, of course, that's an interesting one because it's like everybody sees that symbol, they know exactly what it is right away, right? So popular, but and it's so simple, and that's the thing, right? But I find it funny because it's almost like what was like Sport Check, or there's certain brands will do that. They'll try to copy the Nike symbol almost, but people just think Nike when they see it anyway. Then there's NBC,
right?
So I didn't know this until recently, but that's supposed to be a peacock. So they were, I think, the first news channel to go to color. So proud as a peacock, I guess. And then there's HP. So they short formed from Hewlett Packard to HP because who's going to say remember Hewlett Packard? We've got blue screen of death. You guys were talking about that earlier.
Microsoft.
I actually got the blue screen of death a few times recently because I had to change my driver. But yeah, it happens still. Yeah. And it's funny because every time I actually look at this Windows logo, which now I mean actually technically there's no color anymore, it's all just blue. I just think of Bill Gates, and he's not even with the company anymore. I still think of Bill Gates. Then we have for all the Apple fans, I mean, we'll go on to the next one because YouTube, that's self-explanatory. And of course, I think I got one more here. Oh, I just threw another one in for extra here. Warner Brothers. So I have, a good, 8 to 10 cards here. So which one do you guys want to help me with this one? Because I just need someone to to help me.
Heiko, you go for
Yeah.
it.
Sure, I'll help you out.
All right, awesome, thanks. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll down these one by one, and you're just going to simply, and again, free choice here. You're going to simply just go ahead and tell me yes or no if you want it or not. Okay. So would you like AT&T?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Would you like Yellow Pages?
No.
No. Would you like Nike?
No.
No. Would you like NBC?
Yes.
You like NBC? Okay. Now, is that your final answer, or did you want to switch?
No, that's good.
That's good. Okay. So out of all of these cards, you chose, again, about 9 or 10, you chose NBC.
Yes.
Is there a particular reason you chose that, by the way? I always like to ask that.
I always like the peacock.
Ah, okay. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize it's a peak. I didn't even know it.
Yeah. No, I knew that from way back. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So you chose NBC.
Yep.
And, I'll keep this up. And again, there was one prediction that I did put in this just before we came on to the show here. One prediction only.
Yep.
NBC.
Look at that. Perfect.
Good job. You did good. That was you. That was all you.
Am I hired?
You're hired. You're going to be my beautiful assistant. Because I don't have a girlfriend. I need somebody to fill that place. Yeah.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
That's amazing.
Excellent.
I like saying peacock from Brad.
Yes, I knew he was going to pick that one.
All right. So, he says that's pretty crazy, which it is. I mean, I don't know. Like, in thinking about how you walked them through this, it's not like you were leading them to that. Heiko said, I like peacocks, or whatever you said it, right, Heiko?
Yeah.
I just knew he liked peacocks.
So, Shawn, so do you ever get contracted to make people disappear?
Not
he
yet.
can't tell you that.
Put the trench coat
you.
on. I've got guns, lots of guns, or whatever that was on the Matrix, right?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. There was this one show. Well, actually, I should say, first of all, I'll say almost every kid show, they're like, can you make me disappear? Or can you make my friend disappear?
Yeah.
And no, sorry, I don't do that.
Right.
But there was this one show. So I typically, and if you're on my website, you kind of get the gist of it, and I do explain that a little on my website, that I tend to want to give even kids, especially, that's a good one.
Huh.
Yeah, or mine. No. So
oh boy.
I tend to want to give kids a show where there's tricks where they haven't seen, like this, like the one at the beginning. I would do that sometimes for kids that are maybe over 7, 8 years old, kind of thing. And they usually like that kind of stuff. And I'm sure that for the most part, if you hire like a magician that's like children's act, they've probably haven't seen most of those things before, like anything like that. So that's kind of what I try and aim for when I'm doing my shows. But
get the excitement there and everything too, right? It's to kind of, and the shows that you so you do so we make sure you get your socials and everything out there. So you do kids events, I would assume, like birthdays and celebrations like that, right? Bar mitzvahs, whatever. And you know what? I mean, good on you, Shawn. I saw that thing that you posted on your Facebook about doing the event at Sick Kids Hospital.
Yes.
That must have been a great experience.
It was.
I know that's I've been there. It's kind of a tough place to be at, and if you can put a smile on their face, that's awesome. So you do corporate events as well, right?
Yeah, I do. I've done corporate events like smaller gatherings where I just do table hop kind of thing. And I've done and some larger sort of. I remember one in particular. It was and it was interesting because it was a tough crowd, but it worked out well. It was I can't remember where it was up. I'd have to look up my records, but it was about I think it was a good about maybe 2-hour drive from here or something from where I live. But when Zellers was closing, it was one of the last Zellers around here, and
you made that disappear.
And I made no, I want Zellers.
Nice.
I want them back.
Good one. I hated that store anyway.
I like Zellers, but no, yeah, like I ended up doing. They hired me to do a corporate show as their kind of like final, gathering and party, I guess. But yeah, so that was fun. But I was also gonna, and I was gonna say too, I've done this kids show once in a daycare. This was years ago, and I going back to again what I said, I like to do things a little differently. One of the kids just kind of shouted like, "Oh, pull a bunny out of a hat!" Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh yeah,
I forgot my hat."
So, yeah, sorry, I don't do that. And I just kind of made some kind of a joke or something, and was trying to move on from that. And the kids, I swear to God, they just started rioting. Like they're just like, "Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit." And I'm like,
"Oh." Little bastards.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, because we live in Durham, we're infested with rabbits. All you have to do is look out the door.
Yeah.
Right? What is that? It's a rabbit. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. So Shawn, where can people find you? We're probably getting to the end of the show shortly, but so you've got a Facebook page, Mindscape Entertainment, right?
Okay, so I was going to actually mention this and I forgot. So Mindscape Entertainment was my previous company name.
Okay.
I use that as like to house everything I do. But Beyond the Wand is my magic business name.
Oh, okay. I thought that was more
cool
of a corporate. Name. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It went from being my slogan, Magic Beyond the Wand, to the name. I'm like, I'll just make that the name. Like, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
are you a Harry Potter fan?
Oh my God. Okay, people at home watching this right now.
Yeah.
Some of them are going to hate me for what I'm going to say. I've never seen it.
None of it.
Never read the book. Don't care.
Oh, well. sorry, Harry Potter fans, aka.
That's not real magic. Come on.
Yeah. Oh boy. If Kathy's
you mentioned the Zellers corporate that it was a tough crowd. So I'm assuming we heard about the kids giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
So was that an adult crowd that was a tough crowd? And what is a tough crowd to a performer like yourself? What were they doing that made it a tough crowd?
That's great. Yeah,
she's a Harry Potter fan.
Yeah, big time. I think there's a few of them.
No, I'm kidding.
In fact, we have Harry Potter parties.
Nice.
Well, that's not my wand. It's not mine. What? It's not my wand.
Sorry, now I'm forgetting. Oh, sorry. So
tough crowd.
Yeah.
You know what? It's going to be hard to explain exactly why. And this was This was a show that was like quite a few years ago.
Right.
I just remember you can kind of gauge one, not only the interest of a crowd like at first, but you can gauge sort of the mood of the crowd as you're kind of going right for the first trick. It's like, oh, okay, like these guys are really into it, or these guys are into it, but they're like kind of reserved, or it's all kind of people, and especially with kids shows, I see all the time where like one or two kids can influence the entire crowd, so you gotta be careful with that.
Right.
For whatever reason, this crowd of Zellers folks I'm nothing. I mean, it was a fantastic show. I loved the show, but it felt like I really had to work to get there. Not
get into it. Yeah. Well, hey, Shawn, I could probably suggest something. I know, like, you're an amazing drummer. I mean, just not your average, just over the top. I think you should go, try out for like Avenged Sevenfold or something. You get the gig. But what I could absolutely see, because you're one of these animated, like when you're drumming, it takes a life of its own. You don't really need a band, honestly. But if you did like a party or one of these engagements where you brought your kid in, and that gets everybody up, kind of moving to the groove and excited and everything, and then go to your magic. I mean, I just kind of like, as you're going through it, and I know some of these events are really tough, and it must be difficult or challenging for mentalists, illusion, let's say masters, because they, unless you're doing the big David Copperfield or Blaine show with all the theatrics, that's why, George, they have beautiful women. It's a distraction for the magician to sort of get their stuff right. So we get to see Shawn in the raw here, right? This is this is beyond the wand.
Like, I'm single, so I don't get that luxury.
right. So we get to see Shawn with a brick wall behind him in a stand, and he's in his boiler room downstairs or wherever. But you know what? Like, we get to kind of see the amazing trick, and then we get to see all the setup. So imagine if he had a beautiful woman with him in there.
Exactly.
Well, anyway, we'll stop
what
there.
Trick?
Sure,
what was that? What you just do?
Is one.
So anyway,
see, and that's why I always like what they call street magic.
Yeah.
Because they're walking on the road, you bump into some people, there's a cameraman there, and it's right there, right in your face, right? And that's entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. There was actually one more thing I was going to mention, actually, Terry, because you mentioned the whole like drum thing and whatnot.
Yeah.
So just around the time the virus hit, I got hired to do a show before we went into any kind of lockdown or anything like that.
Right.
And it was a kids show. They were around like 11 years old, I think. Very small gathering, and I'm not going to reveal any information for obvious reasons. But it was interesting. I ended up going. I drove there, and I saw this gentleman outside beside his truck or something, and I didn't really think too much of it. At the time. I'm like, well, okay, whatever, just a guy there, whatever. I didn't clue in at first. So I walk in and I meet the child's mother, and I shake her hand, and I look over to my right, and I see Platinum Records.
Wow.
And it says 3 Days Grace, and I'm like,
oh, nice.
Hold on a second here. Hold on. Can you explain these for me? Because
was it Adam from? Well, formerly from 3 Days Grace.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's not in it anymore. But it was Neil, the drummer.
Neil, yeah. Wow, there you go. So, did you guys have a drum off?
What? I wish.
Oh man, I could probably hook that up for you, Shawn.
Yeah, I know. It was so cool, and I was like, oh man, like, and I was gonna get a picture with him or something, and I chatted with him. He was kind of busy or whatever that day, but his wife brought me down something after, and she's like, hey, like, he's sorry he couldn't talk to you more, but here's like a signed record, and it's like the vinyl and everything. I'm like, oh, this is great. So I got that.
Nice. So you got that? That's cool. That's super cool. Yeah, for sure. I mean, gosh, when was it now? Probably 2 years ago. I saw them at the they were playing the ACC with
come on, spit it out. You could do it.
Oh, Disturbed.
Oh, they're
Is that
playing.
about right? Yeah, I think it was Disturbed, and 3 Days Grace we were opening up for them, if I got that right. But
Okay.
yeah, amazing, right? With the new singer. I mean,
Yeah.
Adam went separate ways, and he's doing his own thing now, anyways. So, but glad he kind of had a bit of a turnaround and back at it. But yeah, it's awesome. So that's cool. So you kind of get pulled in to do, you know, everybody's got families, right? Whether you're famous or not. I mean, you run into these people.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Heiko runs into famous people all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
every Monday night he gets to sit here with Ringo, right? So
The
You know.
voice of an angel. Here we go.
voice of an angel, right? Shawn, you know it, right? I
Yeah.
got some pipes, right?
Yeah, for sure. And this is the funny thing. I was always joking to my friends about it after. I was sitting there looking at the record, the
Yeah.
signed record, going like, I should have charged more.
Oh, we all do that.
Yeah,
We all do that.
yeah. You can't. Yeah.
I'm
You
just
know,
kidding.
had you brought your drums though, you guys would have had a whole different level of fun, right? Because Neil would have probably, you guys would have had some crazy drum off. And you know what, Shawn? I know your drumming and I know his drumming, and you could kick Neil's ass. I'm not even
Yeah, I'll say it.
like,
No.
there you go. There it is. So Neil, if you're out there or you catch this down the road, all right, Shawn's challenging. I'm putting a
We're
challenge
gonna
out there.
we're
gonna
gonna
get
have a
Neil-
drum off.
We're gonna
We're
have
gonna
a
have a
drum
drum
off right
off
here
in
on
the
the
future.
Heikadelic show. Yeah,
That's it.
Wow.
absolutely.
So,
and hi to Melanie out there.
yeah.
Oh, there's a question.
So another quick question to pick Shawn's brain. So, okay, so you told us about your favorite like influences, or magician wise. But what about are you into the drummers? Who would you say your top 3 favorite drummers are?
Oh, good question. So,
The Rev.
well, yeah. I mean, I'll put him up there. Yeah.
He's dead, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. I definitely put him up there for sure.
Got him right here. Right here.
Oh, nice. And for like, and we have our favorites for different reasons. Everybody's a favorite for different reasons.
Yeah.
So
No particular order. Yeah.
No,
Right. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
No
okay.
for specific reasons. The Rev for different reasons. I would say Mike Bangini for different reasons as well. Who is now playing with Dream Theater.
Right.
I'm
Well,
trying
Dream Theater's had like a ton of great drummers through it. I mean, who's the guy who took over for Rev for a while? Oh, Portney, right?
Mike Portnoy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Amazing drummer.
Yeah, I
And
looked
Shawn,
up.
like
I looked
you are the person that I personally know that can drum like those guys, like the Rev. It's like, wow, it's just amazing, right? Anyway, so we'll get you on with your. So you have online drum lessons that you do as well, right?
Yeah, and you can go into my I have a YouTube channel that I now and then post like drum covers. So that's for fun.
So
Cool.
if you beat him in the drum off, then you have to start teaching him some stuff. See, that's what we'll do.
Nice.
He'll have to take some lessons.
If I beat him in the drum off, I'm playing for 3 Days Grace.
All right.
That's how it's going. He's getting kicked out. That's it.
You know what? So Derek's saying Mike is fast as
Yeah, he's right.
But
So Mike used to hold the world's fastest hands record, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. Someone took it over like several years later, I think. But he had So and that's the thing. Like, I obviously like when I tell this to all my students too. Like, speed is not everything, but when you heard that guy play, he would be able to play like time over time, but he's playing so fast, and so that's fine. But he was playing so fast, doing the technical stuff that I was listening to it, going, I can't pick out what he's actually doing at this point.
Right.
So if he slowed it down a little bit, maybe I could hear the musicality behind it. So nothing against him that way. I just think like depending on what you're playing, it's like, yeah, it's pretty quick. Well, although Joey Jordison, like from Slipknot, nothing against him. I mean, he has some good chops. Everybody just loved him, but I don't want to say he was overrated, but I'm going to say it's overrated.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a big Slipknot fan, and it's sorry, Heiko, we went to the music here, but like Slipknot is all, they're all the great songs and everything.
Yeah.
Massive stage presence, right? I mean, everything is about their stage show. So yeah, the drummers, I mean, they've got 3 drummers basically. They got the guys up on the garbage cans doing the side stuff, right? But and you can't, I don't know, I love Slipknot. I've been to every show that's nearby. I've traveled to go see them and just love it. But like Shawn, I mean, if anybody's underrated, it's you. I mean, you should be. No. I'm dead serious. I mean, I've jammed with you. I know. You know what, Derek? Derek has a band actually, and amazing band. And we've had him and some of the guys from his band on the show. But yeah, I mean, he appreciates great musicians and that. And yeah, I honestly, I think you're underrated, man. You could be touring the world right now. So I'm not just saying.
Shawn, are you in a band? Or do you just play drums on your own? Like
Shawn, you have to say no, because I'm going to be starting another band soon, just as a side project.
Right.
And I've got a kind of a cool bass player lined up, and I've already told him you're going to drum for us. So there you go.
Nice thing. Well, I got my electric set now. I sold.
Yeah, I saw that. I've got one at the Ringo Ranch as well, so you don't even have to pull a kit over there. Just use that one. We're all good to go.
But sorry, what were you asking again? I'm kind of losing it.
So speaking of drummers, have you seen the doc? Beware of Mr. Baker. If not, definitely a must watch. I'm not familiar with that. So no, Brad, you might want to. Oh, you made George. I made George disappear. Actually, I'm going to bring him back. He was indisposed for a moment.
Oh, look at that!
What was your question again? I can't remember what you asked.
It's a kind of magic.
I forget what you asked.
No, it's just I wondered if you were actually in a band or you just played drums by yourself or what.
Yeah. So long story short, I was in a couple like fairly serious and very serious bands when I was younger. One I think had the potential to really go places, very mainstream rock band kind of thing. And it just didn't. Let's just say egos got in the way and it didn't work out.
Yeah, they always do. Egos are can be detrimental to a band or anything really in entertainment. Anyway, we won't go off about egos, but they're it's not a good mix for anything, whether you're an artist or
I'm not in a band right now. Something that I would like to do in the future would be like a tribute band. I would like to form a tribute band and actually just cover one particular band very well. I'd like to do that. I haven't picked exactly the band yet, but I would prefer if I did Rush. I would like to play Rush.
Oh, yeah. Well, then I'm out on that because Geddy Lee is just. I don't know. He must have had his tube tied when he was like really young, because I could never hit that pitch. I played in a band with a guy like that, but he's out there. A great band. Heiko, that's one of your icon bands, right? You have Rush tattooed on your ass, don't you?
Yeah, aren't they a bar band?
What's that?
I think they're a bar band, right?
Yeah, so Shawn, this is hilarious. So Iron Maiden, right? Terry Terry Code and I were talking about, I don't know, bands, and Iron Maiden came up, and so Heiko goes, "Aren't they a bar band?" Yeah. They played a few bars, so
But see, I've always loved going to live shows and seeing the drummer, and we always waited for the drum solo. And it's a shame that has gone by the wayside because they just don't do it anymore. There were some fantastic bands, and when they lit that place up, 20-minute drum solo, right? The place always went mental.
It's true. It's true. Everybody loves drum solos. It's true.
And it's funny. I find myself, I'll go back and I'll watch some of that stuff once in a while on YouTube or whatnot. But there's one drummer from way back that always catches me, and I love watching his shit because he would pick up a set of drumsticks and he would play a room or an auditorium or a hallway. He would play the fixtures and the furniture.
Yes.
And you know who that is Buddy Rich.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did you ever like watching him with a stick?
For sure. Like, it's totally different. Yeah, totally.
It's totally different. Simple, but amazing, you know?
Yeah, so if you were to give Shawn a set of sticks right now, he would start drumming on the wall, okay? Although that is a fake wall behind him. So you wouldn't get the tickety-tick. But he's like, it's almost, ever since I've known him, it's like he's got this sort of nervous, almost like, not a nervous twitch, but he's got to be doing something. So he'd be talking and be like, yep, okay. And he makes great popcorn.
It's true.
Shawn carries around. Heiko,
what's that got to do with it?
Well, hang on. It's funny, actually. So, Shawn brings the show, right?
Yeah.
So Shawn has this popcorn machine now. He used to have the air dryer version, but now he's got this thing that you see like at a carnival or a circus or whatever. And so Shawn goes, "I'm coming over and I'm bringing popcorn," right? This was a long time. We haven't done that for years, but he would come over and he'd bring his popcorn machine. And the whole thing is greasy as F inside after you're done. But Shawn doesn't use butter. He doesn't use butter. He uses like what was it? Not olive. What?
So I used to use avocado oil. I use
avocado oil.
Okay, so now I use coconut oil. It's 10 times better. It's amazing.
Coconut oil. I got to try that because I use coconut oil on different parts of my body, starting with my face.
Look, no, we don't want to get into that now. That's
why it's food.
But and there's coconut. To Heiko, there's coconut trees right behind me. Look.
Well, let's go knock some down and get the oil out of them, and we'll just have a no. Let's not. Never mind.
Anyway. So
okay, so Shawn, you're gonna make a big ass garbage can full of popcorn for us, and we're all gonna sit down and we're gonna watch you play. What do you think of that?
That sounds great. We can get you on and do a drum session with you. That would be awesome. So,
the drum war is still on. The drum war is still going to happen.
Oh yeah, we're going to hook that up.
We're going to arrange that.
We're going to track Neil down and get that happening, right? Not Neil hurt, but obviously not. But so on the topic of tribute bands, like Bradley's saying, check out Rush tribute called Lotus Land from PA in the US, and they're amazing. So, but I know a couple of promoters pretty well that actually run tributes all the time, right? So a lot of those bands, a lot of the tribute bands will have subs because not everybody can play on a tribute schedule. So they have like multiple guitarists, multiple drummers, and all of that. So, but if you're ever interested
for a sub right now.
Oh, Heiko. Oh my gosh. When Gary was on and I'd say, let's go for chicken wings, right? Like, yeah,
yeah, I know.
So, okay, this is a long one from Brad. Yeah, go ahead, George.
I was going to say, should we do a trivia, the end is nigh thing? Like,
yeah, let's get on with that for sure.
Because the end is nigh.
Overtime, but hey, because the
end
is nigh.
Oh well.
Heiko's got to work tomorrow.
That's a good one.
So Shawn, we do trivia. George usually does about 4 4 questions. I think we got one out there tonight, right?
Yeah, we still got the album cover, and it's not Led Zeppelin.
Right. It's not Zeppelin, Derek.
No.
So, okay.
All right, here we go. This is an easy one. This is the last bit of a track, right? Talking about drums and everything. Hang on, just cue it up there. Hang on. There we go. Let's try this.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
I'm going to play it again from the beginning. Hang on.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah,
Shawn, you recognize it?
Oh, I recognize it.
Maybe.
I just don't remember who
Anybody
it is.
Derek saying Zeppelin.
It's not Led Zeppelin, no. Hang on.
I
Do
don't
you
know.
wanna pick
That,
more?
I mean, that could be 100 different bands.
Yeah.
Right. Hang on. Let's see if we can do a bit more.
George is pretty
on.
crafty.
Come on, Shawn, you know who it is, don't you?
One more time, George. One more time.
One more time. Sound like a photographer. Hang on.
Oh,
Yeah, I know, eh?
oh.
Okay.
I'm feeling it.
George Thorogood.
So Brad's saying Aerosmith.
I heard. Hang on. Heiko.
Heiko. What did you say, Hike?
George Thorogood.
Oh,
Bad to
there
the
you go.
Bone.
Yeah, that's right.
Bad to the
Yes.
Bad to the Bone. Or is
Yes.
it the other one, or Bad to the Bone?
Hang on.
Woo!
Hang on.
Was it Bad to the Bone or
Yeah.
Drink Alone? They both rhyme.
Bad to the Bone.
Bad
Yeah.
to the Bone. So my phone ringer
Take
on my
that, Derek.
And Derek's
Um,
slipping. It is-
I know, eh?
Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
phone ring is actually the Bad to the Bone thing. Da-da-da-da. So
Yep.
That's
I
at the
when
beginning.
people call, right? I love that song, right? So people will call and da-da-da-da. You know the day I was born. Da-da-da-da. This is all gather round. So I'll sing like about a verse or so, and then I'll pick it
Yeah.
up, and it's like, why don't you ever pick up on the first ring? Because I'm enjoying the tune.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now you know how it ends.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
Now
right.
I know how it
Yeah.
ends. I should put the ending on now, right? And
Yeah,
just get right
absolutely.
to the call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk to
So,
George. He knows how that
Actually-
works.
So
Yeah.
Peter Lee,
Yeah,
hey
actually-
Pete, how's it going, buddy? He's saying
Oh,
Alice
Peter.
Cooper. So you're a little
Alice-
late on that, but
Yeah, really.
honestly, that I mean that's a pretty standard ending, but
Yeah.
but yeah,
I
George
could have played a bit
Thorogood
before.
has that one.
It's so obvious. If you clip it at a certain point,
Yeah.
you know, it's more difficult. But then if it's so
it
obvious,
makes
really,
it tough.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So,
that's what I like to
guys,
do.
we're gonna
'Cause I am
wrap up.
trivial.
We're gonna George, did you have any more trivia? We're back to the
I
album
did.
cover.
I did
Nobody's
actually.
figured that out, right?
Yeah.
Really, because it was guessed last week. I think a couple of people guessed it last week.
Yeah.
The album cover,
Right.
a double album. Hang on.
Do. Oh, look at that.
There it is.
Ah.
Uh-huh.
Frampton comes
Peter
alive.
Frampton. It's Peter Frampton.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, Peter Lee is saying, I is old and slow, eh?
I think that,
I'll tell you, Peter,
But-
I've known Peter for a while now. Run into him at one of the clubs. And he's always, in fact, the bar has beer. And Peter, maybe you can let us know what kind of beer that
Well,
is. But
they
stock
better
in
have
the
beer.
fridge. No. They stock special premium beer just for Peter. It's Peter's beer, right? So yeah, no, it's amazing, right? I'm like, oh, what do you got? No, that's Peter's beer. You can't have that. So that's pretty awesome, man. And he's always wearing these awesome metal shirts. And I'm sporting God helmet tonight. And so Hank, if you're out there, buddy, much love. So but yeah, so
Before
how
I forget,
coincident we're talking Peter Frampton, we got Peter Lee here. Wow, there you
well,
go.
Peter, last week I noticed one of his comments. I think we were talking about radio or disc jockeys, where it was last week, but we'll do this another time. But he mentioned Radio Caroline, which maybe we'll save that for another time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pirate
for
radio
sure,
ship
absolutely.
broadcasting off the coast of Britain back in the day. But anyway, I just when I saw Peter's name there, I thought, oh yeah, that'd be interesting because obviously.
So Derek's saying, is
it's all
he the
about-
pig guy? I don't know. Like, somebody owns a. Oh no. That I guess that was somebody else we were talking about last week. But
Mhm.
owning like a real pig.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So Peter says it's cheap shit Pilsner beer. So Shawn, this is where we kind of go, right? Like, I mean, we're kind of, our fans kind of drive us in different directions. So it's very cool.
That's cool.
A lot of times it's got to do with drinking. So, hey.
Wayne Albright, first time tuning in. Hey, Wayne.
Hey,
So Wayne, where are you from?
Yeah.
Let us know where you're from and what got you listening here. I mean, we have a lot of promos out there now that are kind of going, they're global, and so we're getting a lot of new fans hooking up. Our we're getting likes every week on our Facebook, so it's moving along really well. And then of course we announced that we'll be on a new network very soon, so more to come on that. And we're working towards that.
Gotta love our fans though, and it's always nice to know where they're listening from. It's very cool.
Yeah, and honestly,
it's cool.
Yeah, they we've been doing this for a few years now.
Yeah.
And I think the big compelling event for us was when we went out of the studio at Reality Radio, and actually because of COVID, we were all stuck at home, and we started doing this. Doing this, and we found that we always thought we had the faces for radio because but last year at Christmas I got a cup from someone out in the States saying, hey, I'm the reason there's naughty in Christmas. So our fans really appreciate us, and we appreciate them obviously. And speaking of which, I finally shot Derek a few t-shirts from Motor City. We promised you were saying those like 8 months ago or whatever. So the whole family can actually, Derek, send us a picture of you and your family wearing the Motor City. You can blot out the kids' faces if you want, but just send it over. We'd love to see that.
Hey, George, I'm still waiting for my shirt.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. No, I'll tell you. We'll make a trade. No, come on over.
Look, Wayne's from West Virginia. Look at Wayne. West Virginia.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean,
love it.
I love West Virginia. I biked through all that country, and it's with my Harley, and it's awesome.
I went whitewater rafting down there. It was awesome. I loved it.
Tell us about yourself, Wayne. What do you do? What do you do out in West Virginia? And do you, just tell us what you do.
Speaking of fans, if Will is still listening, say you're still listening. I wanted to say something.
Oh, okay.
Will. I haven't seen his name come up in a while. It was near the beginning.
Oh, okay.
I just want to know if he's still there.
He might be. I don't know. Yeah? He hasn't commented in a while, so.
Yeah.
But
he dropped us.
So have we got anything happening on next week's show that we can all look forward to?
Yeah, so next week, MCM is going to finally release their CD here on the show. So we're going to do that, and I'm not sure exactly which members of the band are going to be on with us, but we'll make that happen. Phil's got a connectivity issue out in where he is too, Heiko. He's kind of like us, but he's actually rented an office in town to do his business. He's kind of like a CFO type person. So, but he moved to God's country. I mean, he Phil, I mean, he's a bit of a survivalist, likes all the bug out stuff. So he's got
Yep.
a beautiful place in the middle
Uh-huh.
of absolutely the sticks, right? And he loves it.
Perfect.
And his
Perfect.
family loves it, so he's doing well. Well, but we're gonna try and make that work. And next week, and we'll talk about some of the songs. I think maybe the dynamic will be a bit different. I'm not gonna interview myself, so maybe we'll get Shawn on to interview. But so you know what though, guys, I think we're gonna
Here.
wrap up.
Wayne
Shawn,
answered your question. Just read what Wayne had to say.
Scanning Facebook and scanned in from a Joe Rogan page.
Nice.
Oh,
Well, so here's the thing. I kind of Wayne, thanks for that, man. That's awesome until I get a email from Rogan's lawyers tomorrow, because what I was doing all the promo stuff for the show, and I ended up doing this embedded invite, but I'm associated with a lot of groups, and I'm a big Joe Rogan fan, and of course, and then anyway, so his network and all of that. So what I ended up doing was inadvertently sending out a mass invite to the groups. So it wasn't intentional, Wayne, but I'm glad to see you. I don't mind stealing one of Joe's fans, but no, we love Joe Rogan. He's just amazing. I'm still like fixated, and I watch it over and over. His interview with Bob Lazar, it's just amazing. And Joe's such a talent, right? In terms of the way he interviews and his background, right, with MMA and what was it, Fear Factor, all of that stuff. So glad to see you, Wayne. It's and we do that, right? We scan through Facebook, and there's no idle time in life now, right? It's like the minute you look down, you could be on a bad date, look at your phone, right? I mean, women do it, why not us, right? But what are you doing over there? Well, I'm watching a Joe Rogan podcast, right? But no, he's pretty amazing. So thanks, Wayne. This is actually a good moment for us. So, but yeah, so he's a retired vet, disabled, spends too much time on the computer learning to play guitar. Since I got put out of work, too much time on my hands. You know what? Guitar, I've got, I think, 34 to 37 guitars. I've been collecting them for most of my life. And I spent my college tuition on my first real guitar. So, but you know what? It's very therapeutic, and keep going with it, man. And you can do so much with socials. You can jam with people online with the right technology. You could hook up with Shawn. He could, you guys could start a virtual band, right?
There you go.
And
now
he
you're
can
talking.
do some magic tricks for you. So, we're going to wrap up. And Shawn, just before we do you have where would you like to direct our listeners and watchers to see what for them to find you on the socials?
Sure.
Where would
in terms of my magic, you're saying, or just anything?
Yeah.
Anything?
You want to hook up? You want to hook up with some hot chicks? You got this is your moment right now.
All right. Well, I am single. Yeah, that's true. So, in terms of my music, you can visit thedrumschool.ca.
Okay.
With the drumschool.ca. Don't forget that. And then you can, I believe if on YouTube is youtube.com/thedrumschool. And you can take a look at some of my cover tunes and see if there's any songs you like. You can listen to me.
Right. Excellent.
In terms of the magic, you can find me at beyondthewand.ca, and all my socials generally are on the sites as well, so you can find them on there.
Excellent. Well, it was great having you on the show. We're going to hook that drumming contest up in the future, and we'll have you back. And hey, maybe you could do another trick or two for us too. That wouldn't hurt.
Perfect. All right. Thanks so much for having me.
Okay,
Awesome.
Shawn, if you want to hang out for a few minutes, we're going to put you in the virtual green room, and then
We could chat
wrap
after.
up the show, and then we'll chat for a few minutes, and then we'll call it an evening. Thanks for being on. We appreciate it.
Cool. Take
Yeah.
care.
See you again. Yeah, and I also want to thank my lovely co-hosts here, George and Mr. Ringo, for helping us do an awesome show.
Lovely.
Yes, I would like to also thank our fans.
We're lovely.
Yes, absolutely.
Bloody lovely.
Just keep your shirts on, okay, boys?
Wait a minute.
Yeah. I want to thank our fans, Will, Kathy, Derek, the lovely Keisha, Stephen, Bradley, Melanie, Peter, and first-time listener Wayne. I hope all you guys tune in next Monday night at 9:30 when we get down and dirty. What do you think of that?
Looking forward to it.
That's awesome. So we'll see you all next week.
Yeah,
All right.
Take care. Stay dancing, my friends.
Well, that's another wrap for the Heikadelic Show, folks, so time to get dirty. And don't forget, listen in next week on Monday night and every Monday after that for the Heikadelic Show at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like more information on the Heikadelic Show, please find us at www.theheikedelicshow.com or .ca. We'll see you all next week on the Heikadelic Show. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor for the Heikadelic Show, it's easy. Just send us an email at info@theheikedelicshow.com. Meanwhile, you can browse our website at www.theheikedelicshow.com or .ca. Click on our sponsor tab and find out more information on sponsorships. Thanks for joining the Heikadelic Show, fans.